welcome back to Generation What?
Generation What?
Today we're just gonna dive right in and we're gonna switch it up a little bit today. I'm actually gonna be talking about current events, current news that's out there today about the different generations. So I'm gonna start right now. I have pulled up on my phone. I don't do paper. I type in millennials on Google News. The first thing that comes up is from LA Times, and the title is called What Millennials Want from Their CEOs. Activism. Millennials are very focused on social activism, social justice, and that being very crucial in their workplaces. 56% of millennials said CEOs and other business leaders need to engage on hotly debated current issues. And that's opposed to 36% of Gen Xers and 35% of baby boomers. And this speaks to those of you that maybe are leaders in your business and in your communities, making sure that you're taking part in community activist events, just kind of making it clear that you care about social issues. Now, the next generation we're going to focus on is Generation X. They are sometimes considered the forgotten middle child, so they're kind of overlooked in a lot of society. Generation X remains a dynamic workplace phenomenon. This whole article is talking about how, guys, stop overlooking Generation X. Like, they are still in the workplace and they're still making a lot of change. There's so much attention directed at millennials, but really Generation X wants a lot of these same things, and we're actually the first people to demand and want these things. For example, I've talked about millennials a lot and how we value flexible working life, work-life balance, being passionate about your job. This very first sentence says that the motivation for Gen Xers changing careers is job satisfaction, better work-life balance, and flexible working hours. Generation X kind of stopped going into a career with the thought that they would stay there forever, and they began hopping around careers, and that's when it became more socially acceptable to hop around and change careers every so often. We all just really want to be happy at work. So that's what this article says to me, is that millennials are not the only ones that want to find passion and satisfaction in their jobs. So then as I'm searching generations, I come up with this article titled, Finally, There's a Name for the Generation Between Gen X and Millennials. Since the millennial generation is so big, a lot of people at the upper end of the millennials don't really feel that connected or attached to the millennial generation stereotypes. This microgeneration is called the Zennials with an X, meshing together millennials and Gen Xers. We use social media, but can remember a life without it. The internet was not part of our childhoods, but computers existed. And another thing this article talks about is that it's a combination of the Gen X skepticism and the millennial optimism. Now, for me, that's just kind of another part of getting older. I'm sure as millennials get older, all of us will start to become more skeptical as well. Now on to the baby boomers, our lovely parents. Why are the baby boomers in such a bad mood? The boomers are the ones that have created a lot of these technologies and advanced our society in so many ways, and actually have quite a bit more money than millennials, let's say. But they're being ignored by TV, by the music industry, by the movie industry, by the clothing industry, which doesn't really make sense considering they're the ones that can actually afford to buy these things. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? But it is funny because now the boomers are in such a bad mood that the millennials are getting all this attention and they're like, hello.
We're not dead yet.
Last article of the day, couldn't ignore this one.
Baby boomers planning to work past retirement? Here's why that idea could be a bust.
There are more millennials than any other generation going into the workplace. And then you have boomers who are refusing to retire. What will happen is that the labor market will become so overwhelmed that they're gonna have to lower wages. So this idea might not work for these boomers trying to fill up their retirement savings because these wages are gonna drop. There's never been a time in history where so many older people are still working past the age of retirement. 74% of adults now plan to work past retirement age. Most of them said that they want to because they want to, not because they have to. As in, they might already have enough retirement savings. Boomers, what the heck is making you want to not retire? I don't understand because I'm 23 years old and I really would love to retire right now.
Right now.
And that's all I have for you today. See you next week on Generation What? Headline edition. Generation What is out.